Hey everyone, welcome back. So, NBA season has started and I am so excited. I just love basketball. Um, the Celtics played the Knicks and just blew them off the court. I mean, it tied for the most made three-point shots ever in the NBA, which is just an amazing feat. And in the fourth quarter, they were trying to score one more three-pointer so they can break the record, and it just couldn't. And I thought it was a bad strategy. If you're trying to score, you just got to do it naturally. Just play the game. You're going to get an open tree, and you're more than likely going to hit it. But when you're just specifically trying to hit a tree to beat a record, yeah, it's just a stupid way. I remember he was trying to get a triple double, and he got the ball under the basket, so he hit it off the backboard so he can catch it back, and then score it to get the triple double. That's just whack. I mean, just play the game, man. Just play the game naturally. Stop trying to cheat the game. So the Celtics are an amazing three-point shooting team, probably the best in the league right now. Let me see if I can hit a couple of three-pointers like the Celtics team. Oh yeah. So my favorite Celtics player is actually Derek White. That guy's just amazing. So that one's for Derek White. So the Celtics are going to be the team to beat this year. These guys, they pass the ball a lot. Very unselfish play, which is the type of player I like. I like players who just pass the ball, not looking for stats and all that. And damn, everybody on the Celtics team, it seems like everyone could shoot threes. Not everyone, but most players on the team could put up a three. We got Tatum, obviously. We got Brown. We got Pitchard. The other guy, what's his name? Forgot his name, but I mean, everyone. White could hit threes. We have everybody. Oh my God, they just have an amazing team. They just won the championship, so they're on a high. And one of the best players is injured. And I feel like the only thing that could really derail the Celtics is injury. Just like any other team. It doesn't matter what league you're in baseball, hockey, basketball, it doesn't matter. Injuries have derailed many great players or potentially great players' careers. Grant Hill and many others. They got injured and it just wasn't the same. Happened to Derrick Rose and so many tons and tons of players. Injury is not an easy thing to deal with in professional sports. Because if you can't jump like you used to or run fast as you used to, you're just limited. And it's just going to be tough for you to score at a high rate like when you're in your prime. So injuries could derail players and injuries could derail teams. So that's the interesting part of watching professional sports. You can't watch at the first game and think that team is going to just beat everybody and win. It's not that simple. It's 82 games in a season, and anything could happen. And the worst thing could happen to any team is injuries. So the Celtics could actually win championship without Porzingis. But when they have him, wow, they're deadly, 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 deadly. It's going to be very hard for anybody to beat them with Porzingis. Without Porzingis, they're tough out. But I feel it could still be beaten without Porzingis. But with him, whew, that's going to be tough. And the reason is he's 7'4", right? He can shoot the ball all over the court. He plays defense. He has a high basketball IQ, so he knows when to pass the ball, and he knows how to post up. He knows how to do the pick and roll. He doesn't have a lot of weaknesses. And then to top it all off, he can hit the three-point shot. A lot of big men can't shoot threes, and if they could shoot threes, they can't play in the paint. Porzingis could play in the paint. He could shoot threes. He can shoot a mid-range shot. He's a good passer. He's just the perfect player to have on your team. Now, if he's just the main focus on the team, like he's been in his career, he's not going to do much. But if he's not the focal point, the Boston has so many good players. Right now, I could say so many great players because they already won a championship. So Boston has so many great players that you can't focus on one player. The other guy's going to beat you because the player you're focusing on, he's going to pass the ball. They're not selfish players, and they don't need to be selfish because, in the past, you look at the makeup of teams. You look at teams like the Chicago Bulls with Jordan. Jordan was the main focus. They know Jordan was the guy you got to stop. And they just couldn't stop him. He was just that good, especially when he got to his prime. And he had good players around him, but he didn't have any like great players around him. I would say Scottie Pippen was great, definitely. Scottie Pippen is an amazing player, but he didn't have anybody that people would really want to focus on besides him. And if you look at other teams, the makeup of other teams, if we look at Minnesota, we have Anthony Edwards. You just focus on that guy and that's it. You look at Dallas, we have Luka, and we have Kyrie. So you have two guys that you really got to focus on, right? On the Boston Celtics, you got to focus on every guy on the court because all of them could shoot, all of them could pass, all of them are playing unselfish. So yeah, it's gonna be a tough year. If the Celtics don't sustain any injuries, they're gonna be favored to win, in my opinion, favored to win the championship. I know people are just favoring them now to win, but I'm saying if they don't get any injuries. If they get injuries, if Tatum or Brown goes down with injury, yeah, it's gonna be tough, especially if Porzingis is not playing. They're not gonna be easy to beat anyway because they seem to be a well-oiled machine, thanks to the coach Mazzulla. But yeah, you need all your guys. You need all your guys to be on point playing the game. And my favorite player, Derek White, man, that guy is amazing, amazing, amazing guy. So I'm looking forward to seeing this season. The Knicks, I feel like the Knicks really messed up. Everyone was excited to see the Knicks play this season. Everyone, after watching last season, with Jalen Brunson and the guys he was in college with, everyone was just, and then they just traded for the other guy from Brooklyn, Mikal Bridges, and DiVincenzo. That guy was an amazing 3-point shooter. And then all to the blue, they just traded DiVincenzo and Randall, and they bring in Towns. I don't understand why would they make a move like that, because Towns is not doing nothing on his own team. Towns have a great team. He's on Minnesota with a great player, and they're not doing shit. So I don't know why would they trade for Towns. I don't understand the logic. Towns is basically a big man who can shoot a 3-point. Why would you want a big man shooting a 3-pointer unless he could also play in the paint? Towns don't play in the paint. He don't grab rebounds. He don't play defense. Why the hell would they trade for a guy like that? The Knicks were on the right path. They had a good team. All of a sudden, they just break the team up before people even get a chance to see them play together. And now everyone is wondering, like, what the F? So it's very disappointing that that the Knicks just messed up. Now, I'm not saying these guys are not going to win a couple of games. I don't see them winning the championship, not with that team. I don't see them getting to the finals, not with that team. If they do, I don't see them winning the championship. I still love Jalen Brunson. The guy's just an amazing player. He's just a dog. But there's only so much he can do. On the defensive end, he's a liability because he's pretty short. He has it. Yeah, offense, he's the man. So then you have Towns, who got no defense. Then they have a couple other guys who play defense, but they're not giving you much offense. It's going to be a tough season for the Knicks. I think they're going to be fun to watch, yes. But I was expecting them to really compete for a championship, and I think they digress by getting Towns and getting rid of DiVincenzo. So disappointing to see that team. Philadelphia 76ers, the same thing I said. I spoke about the 76ers, and I told you that they're not going to get anywhere with Embiid because he's always injured. And Tyrese Maxey, he's not a star player yet. I don't know if he's ever going to get there. He's a good second, third player, and that's it. This guy's not going to take you to finals. He's not going to take over games and win games on a nightly basis. He's not. Once in a blue, he'll do it, but he's just not that guy yet. I don't know if he's ever going to get to that guy. He's very fast. He can shoot. But I don't know, in the fourth quarter, he just kind of disappears. He doesn't do much in the fourth quarter, which is the quarters where you want, when you're a star player, that's the quarter when you shine. You really shine in the fourth quarter. So if you're not shining in the fourth quarter, you're not a star player, in my opinion. Yeah. So hopefully Tyrese Maxey game has improved this year. Hopefully he's taken another step to being a star player. I would have to see. I haven't seen a game yet, but I'm I was really excited this year to see the 76ers, but I don't know. I mean, Embiid is always injured, and they said he's not gonna play back-to-back games. He's gonna do the Kawhi Leonard thing, and that doesn't make much sense to me because if you look at Kawhi has been injured for the past, I don't know, 4 years, on and off, and his team hasn't done nothing. The last time he won a championship with Toronto, that was it. And what was it, like 4 years ago, 5 years ago? And since then, he hasn't won nothing. Hasn't won jack because he's always been injured. And he has taken a lot of time off and still hasn't been able to perform in the playoffs and do anything. So resting a guy because he's injured, I don't think it's a good formula because you just look at Kawhi Leonard's career and you can tell that that's not going to work. With the NBA, you have to be in a certain, you got to be playing at a high level. You can't just rest for 5 months, come on the court, and then just turn it on. It just doesn't work like that. So Embiid is a liability, and he doesn't need to be the main player on the team anymore. They should have him coming off the bench, and because he's going to get injured anyway, have him come off the bench, build a team around somebody else. I don't know if Maxi's that guy. I definitely know Paul George is definitely not that guy, because Paul George's career is going downwards, and Paul George hasn't done really nothing in his career. He hasn't impressed anybody either way. Paul George's best days are behind him. They have a lot of pieces around. As I said, I like the team, but I don't see them getting anywhere. I don't see them getting nowhere. Milwaukee, with Giannis is just a monster, just an amazing player. The problem with Giannis, he needs to have a consistent jump shot. If Giannis had a consistent jump shot, Giannis would probably be better. He'd probably go down as one of the best players to ever play the game. Right now, he's very athletic. He's very, very tall, very long arms. He takes 2 steps and it's a dunk. Once he's in the paint, he's a monster, all that. But in the NBA, when you're playing professional sports, you got to know how to shoot the ball. I mean, guys like Shaq never knew how to shoot the ball. All he could do was dunk. And obviously he was like 7'1", 7'2", I don't know. But if Shaq was a little bit away from the basket, he couldn't score. He had to be under the basket to score. He had to dunk. He had nothing else. So I don't understand how these guys are getting paid. These guys are getting paid millions and millions of dollars to play a game, and they can't even learn the most basic skill in the game, which is to shoot the ball. So Giannis, I hope he spent the whole summer learning to shoot because his shot is not good. He can't just depend on his athleticism because eventually that's going to go away with age. He's not going to be able to barrel through the paint and score like he used to as he get older. But I do think that he needs to have a better team. Trading for Dame Lillard and replacing him, replacing the guy they had with Dame Lillard, it's not a good idea. Just bad moves from these teams. And I don't think Giannis is going to stick around with that team. I just don't think. Giannis, you can tell that guy has a drive. That guy really wants to win badly. I mean, if he learned to shoot the ball, he probably would have more than one championship by now. That's a fact. If Giannis could shoot the ball good, he would have more than one championship because they can't stop him in the paint. And if he could shoot, they have to play up on his shot, and he would have been a monster. He's still a monster, but he just would have been unstoppable. So hopefully he learned to shoot. But I don't know. I don't know if Milwaukee's gonna do anything. Dame Lillard really needs to step up. Dame Lillard needs to play the best basketball he's ever played in his life in order for Milwaukee to do anything. Because having a one-man wrecking crew, it never worked. Never worked in the NBA. Having one guy who was good. So if Dame Lillard step up, Giannis plays the best he can play, and hopefully he learns to shoot, and the other players step up, Milwaukee has a good chance of getting to the finals. If, that's a lot of ifs, and if nobody gets injured, it's a lot of ifs. Indiana, I like Indiana, but I don't know. Indiana has just been underperforming. Then they had injuries, and I like Halliburton. I think he's a great player. I like watching him, just like how I like watching Brunson. But yeah, I can't wait to see. I want to see some games. After the first 10 games, I'm gonna be able to tell. Okay, this team looks like they're gonna be problems for the rest of the league. Obviously, I'm waiting to see Denver play. They're gonna be. I can't wait to. I don't know. I'm curious to see the dynamics of the team and how they move forward. I think last year they made a couple of mistakes by trading a couple of players they shouldn't have traded. But let's see what they do this year. Let's see if they can recapture the magic. They have arguably the best player in the league, right? Nikola Jokic. And when you have the best player in the league, which like Milwaukee, I've had best player in the league for a couple of years and they won only one championship. So when you have the best player in the league, you gotta capitalize on that. The owner needs to spend some money bringing some good players around this guy to make sure they can win championships. Not one championship. When you're a great player, you want to win at least 3 championships. You want to really step your foot down and say, "Hey, I was the best in that era." So you gotta win multiple championships. And I feel like um, Nikola Jokic, I think that's what he want to do, but he needs the guys around him to step up. He needs them to perform. In the playoff last year, they lost to Minnesota because they just didn't have it. They didn't step up. No, Jokic were good, but the rest of them wasn't no good. And so we shall see. I think the Timberwolves they traded Towns to the Knicks. I think that was a good move. Towns wasn't really doing nothing. I find Towns to be immature. I mean that game when he was shooting a bunch of trees and he scored what he scored. I think he scored like 70 points and they still lost the game. That just tells you how immature, I mean, how he is. Like, if your team is not winning, pass the ball around. You know what I'm saying? So, I think it was a good move for them. But I'm looking at their team. They just lost to the Lakers. And I'm sure everybody was expecting them to win that game. And the Lakers beat them. So, I think, yeah, they have a lot of learning to do and a lot of pieces to pick up and gel. Yeah, Minnesota, they have a great player. They have, let me don't call him great, a good player. Um, Anthony Edwards, he runs his mouth a lot. Let me see what he does this year. But when you got on a team, when you got one guy that's good, yeah, you're not gonna really go anywhere. You need more players. Um, Rudy Goldberg. I mean, that guy's so soft. It's just annoying. Like the guy's like 7 feet. Yo, why can't these players be more assertive? Like you're 7 feet, you're in the paint, just dunk on people. You know what I'm saying? Like get people out of the way. Play with some attitude. Play with some grit. That guy's just soft. It's just so it's just so annoying to see someone with that height and he has a good body strength and he just plays soft. He got people walking over him. So yeah, guys, some players is just disappointing and he's one of them. Anthony Davis, I really like Anthony Davis. Always liked that guy. He's just an amazing, amazing player. I think the Lakers have wasted a lot of his career because the team just hasn't been good. They have good players. Well, maybe it was the coach. People are saying it was the coach. I feel it was a combination between the coach and LeBron. Now, I like LeBron. I'm not bashing him. But I feel like the culture of the team is LeBron because he's the most polarizing player on the team. Okay? So the tone sets with him. He's arguably the best player to ever play the game. He's played the game of basketball longer than anybody else. LeBron is the pulse of the team. So if the team hasn't been winning, it's LeBron. Anthony Davis is following LeBron. You can see all the antics that Davis does is they always, putting like their blood in their veins or whatever. But they're kind of childish, and I feel that comes from LeBron. I feel like the team should be more serious. I want them to have fun, right? But I need them to be more focused, and I feel that hasn't been happening. They need to play more like a team instead of individual stars. I feel like the Lakers over the years is LeBron would just pass the ball to a new guy that's on the team that could play and say, "Yeah, you eat," and then you pass to another guy, "Yeah, you eat." That's not how to play basketball. Basketball, when I go to play street ball, that's how they play. Every man for themselves. We're playing as a team, but everybody is selfish. Everybody want to score. Everybody want to shoot a three. Nobody's looking for the open man. Nobody's setting screens. Nobody's not thinking. They got no IQ. They're just playing like idiots. You know. So I feel like that's what the Lakers have been for the past couple of years. Just individual good players, not team based. I hope this year with a new coach, they have a new attitude and they have a new focus and they play as a team because they got too many good players. Every year they have good players and every year they lose. They're just not competitive. Every year they end up low in the standings and they're fighting to get into the playoffs and they might get into the playoff and they might make a run. Just terrible, terrible, terrible. So hopefully this year they just beat the Timberwolves for the first game, which is great. LeBron was able to play with his son, which is historic for him and his son. For everybody else, we don't really care much because his son doesn't seem to be ready for the NBA. He's not really at NBA level yet. Now I feel like he will improve, but we don't need to see him improve him. We need to see a good basketball game and good basketball players. So they're probably going to send him down to the G League so he can improve, and he's going to come back up, and he's going to be a decent player. I think he's going to be a decent player. I don't see why not. He just needs more time to develop. That's it. And I feel like this whole circus with him and the son, I think, something LeBron wanted. And if LeBron has been great for the league, he's been great for all of us. And if that's what he wanted, he got to play with his son, then so be it. Now that's done. Let's play some basketball and let's win some games. So I'm rooting for the Lakers. I hope it's a success. I'm not crazy about the coach. I personally don't really like him much but that's just personal. I just don't like his vibe. But hopefully he makes the right moves that put the players in a good place where they can win. Hopefully the team gels. They have a new player. I forgot his name. Oh my God, the guy is just amazing. In the preseason game, which I don't really care about preseason games, but he played in the last preseason game and he scored like 20 points. The guy's just amazing. I forgot his name, but he's pretty good. I'm looking forward to seeing him play, and I like the team. I like the Lakers team. They got a good bunch. They just need to play as a team. That's the problem. They need to play as a freaking team, and not as just individual stars. So we shall see about that. I mean, everybody else, I don't see anybody else doing much in the league beyond those teams. But you know, it's early. It's early, so we shall see. The only other team that's probably good is the Thunder. Also should be a good team. But as I said, I need to see some games. I need to see. I know they did pretty well last year, so that's amazing. But last year is already done. This year is a new year. Let's see how they do. So I'm looking forward to seeing the entire NBA season and seeing all the games, and hopefully I could do some commentary on it. I mean, I won't be able to come outside a lot because it's about to get cold. It's about to be winter time. But I'll probably do some stuff inside. And want to thank everybody for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video.